And
Okay.
I'll just give a date, Margaret. Margaret and I, my little sister, of many years, we're going to, and it's 5/27/2022. We're going to talk about the memories we have of when we were growing up in Eugene. And the thing that was really important to Margaret and me about the center of the world was the Little Big Y, which is a little store a few blocks away from our house that we would frequent. So uh, Margaret and I thought that would be a good place to start on our childhood memories. Uh, and I remember the a few occasions. One particularly sticks out in my mind as you and I walking down to the Little Big Y, and you and I were given an assignment by Mom to go get some bones for soup that Mom would we we would get, as I recall, Margaret, and correct me if I'm wrong here. We were assigned this job on occasion to go down and pick up bones from the butcher that there was an actual butcher in the that little store, and he would give, and we would go down and ask for dog bones, and he would always say, "I don't have any dog bones, but I do have some beef bones you can have for your dog." and, we, and of course we go, "Oh yeah, okay," and we would uh, he would put it in a little white bag, and we or in some butcher paper, and we would walk home with our prized dog dog bones all the way home, and give them to Mom, and Mom would be so pleased that she would boil these 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 bones that probably should have been fed to a dog instead of people. She would boil these into submission, which was usually a noodle soup of a greasy noodle soup that we
Yeah.
all did not really fully appreciate.
Noodles and potatoes and onion
Yes, that's right. Yes,
and,
a,
and grease. You're right.
what do they call a nutrient rich soup?
Well, it could be, bone broth is really a big thing right now with
Yes,
nutrition.
yeah,
Yeah,
it could have been.
she's just ahead of her time once again.
I think she was.
I do remember standing in front of the butcher case, talking to the butcher. Do you suppose Mom was too embarrassed to go in and ask for these bones herself?
Yes, I suspect she was, or it was
Uh,
something that she could assign us to do that she didn't have to
yeah,
do,
a little
perhaps.
job.
Yeah.
As I remember, the butcher shop was toward the back of the store.
Yes, that's right. Yes,
Yeah.
as I recall it being, you walked in the front doors, which was as you stood out in front of the Little Big Y, the entrance was to the right of the building, and the butcher shop. As you walked in, the butcher shop was immediately to your left, clear down at the end of the end of the building. It,
And I have in my mind a memory of it being there weren't a lot of windows except on what would be the south side of the building. It seemed like there was always a lot of light coming in that store, but
yeah,
maybe
correct.
um, okay. And the
That's the way I remember it too.
okay, um, and the was there just the one cash register? Do you remember, or were there two?
Oh, good question. I remember one, of course. There may have been two. I don't remember. I don't remember. I know there was, of course, at least one by the magazine rack. Do you remember where their magazines were?
If I remember right, it they were to as you walked in the store to the right in the front on the right side where they could keep an eye on us kids looking at them, right?
Yes, yes, that's right. It was to the right as we walked in. Yes, And you're right. In fact, you and I were, it was not unusual for us to walk down there and plop ourselves down on the floor and start reading magazines. And you and I were admonished by a clerk that worked there one time. And we were so
Uh,
embarrassed.
well, of course, because we didn't want to do anything wrong ever, right?
Yeah.
Well,
Do you remember what he did?
I don't remember the incident now.
He snatched it out of our hands.
Oh,
Our, our,
gosh.
our sticky little fingers. We were reading comics,
Of course.
which was the American kid thing to do, and we were reading probably Superman or something, and each one of us had a comic book, and he grabbed it from us out of our hand and put it back in. He said, "If you want to
Oh,
read comic books, you buy them."
oh dear. Oh, poor little guys. I bet we were crushed.
We were crushed. I think we
Oh.
just we were sniffling and
I don't remember the layout of the store other than, like I said, I remember where the magazines were and the meat counter, but like what fell in between, like I don't remember. Were there aisles of, shelves? Were there bins of produce? Or, I don't remember anything really about the interior except for and the checkout stand. I don't remember how many.
yes, yeah, I vaguely remember it. I think that the fruits and vegetables were on the right, uh, kind of past the magazines there, and
Uh-huh.
bread and cakes and things like that were on. I think they were on the left side, as I recall, or maybe it was cheese and milk and stuff. But you're right.
Okay.
Yeah, the butcher, but you're right. The big windows, usually with posters in them or writing on the windows, and then the
Yeah.
butcher shop was in the back. Yeah,
Yeah. They have the specials of the day or whatever of the week
yeah,
post in the window. And
yes.
wasn't there another door? So you walk, wasn't there one down, you walk in the front door and down to the left
Mhm.
at the back there?
Yeah,
Was there, maybe Bill or Pat will remember more about how it was laid out.
yeah.
I have a memory of the at the near the front of the store, near the checkout stands during in season, boxes or these racks, whatever, holding the kites, the paper kites.
Yes, yeah, yes,
Yeah,
yeah. In fact, Bill mentioned that. Yes, they were in a like a waste can or in a
yeah.
round can, and then the
Uh,
in those beautiful kites. Uh,
oh God. Yep.
and then the string they had string on the shelf that you could buy also. If you were rich enough, you could buy string also.
String. Um, and if you had any change left over after you bought your kite, you could buy a
Mhm.
piece of bazooka bubble.
Yes,
Yes. Was
that's
it
yeah.
was it a penny or 2 cents for one piece?
I think it was a
Something like
penny.
that.
Yeah, I think it was a penny. I think.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I love that bazooka bubble gum.
Oh, I know. Yeah. And do you remember the comics, or they had a little comic
Oh, little
in
like
there?
that. Yeah, wrapped up inside. Yeah. I
Yeah.
don't know if they still do that, but I
Do
don't
they?
know if they still have bazooka.
Yeah. Do they sell bazooka bubble gum? I wonder.
They it seems like I've seen it in my adult life, but I there are some stores that kind of specialize in the old candies and gums.
Uh-huh.
So maybe at one of those stores.
Oh yeah.
But I don't recall seeing it at your mainstream stores at all, and bubble gum at all.
Yeah.
It's just not popular.
Yes. For years, for decades, I think, Margaret, I've been wanting to ask you about. There was an incident in which you wanted to go to the store. We were at home, and the little big Y. You wanted to go to the little big Y, and Mom either said you couldn't, or they wouldn't take you. I think you wanted them to drive you down or take you down, walk down with you. And you were not a person to say no to. You were not to be dissuaded. If you, as a little girl, if you made up your mind you were going to do something, by golly, you were going to do it, hell or high
Really?
water. Yeah. And so you, uh, at that time, you had a little patent leather purse, a little box purse.
Little black patent leather purse with
Yes.
a hand.
Yes. Yeah. It kind of looked
I
like,
still have it.
oh, you still have it. You will
I
need to,
do.
you'll need to take a photograph of that and send it along. And, but you got all dressed up. You had a little dress on.
Oh my
I
goodness.
think you put on your Sunday best, and
Probably inside out or backwards or something.
and you and you had little patent leather shoes with it,
Oh yes.
which you
Mary
may
Jane.
still have. I don't know.
I still have in the trunk. Yeah. I know.
But you got all dressed up, and it was a summer day. I think it was quite warm, and off you went for the store with complete knowledge of mom and dad. And I was just astounded that they would let you, a little girl of that age, to walk down there. And in fact, I was kind of, I was watching. You know where the ivy was in the front yard?
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
I followed you as best I could on the lawn, staying on in the yard on the lawn.
The good little boy that you were, you
The,
stayed in your
yes,
yard.
yes,
But the
eh,
store is like what, 6 blocks away or
yeah.
something?
It was about a half mile away. Yes, and mom and dad were outside, and they were watching you walk down the street, and and I was going to yell at you, like come back home or something. I was going to intervene in some way, and I was looking at mom, and I turned around looking at mom, and mom indicated to me with no uncertainty in her look to me, don't you say a word, Stan. So I didn't.
Oh,
But
huh.
dad followed you down to the store. He,
Oh.
what were you going to the store for? What, do you recall?
Oh,
Do you recall this
cute.
at all?
No, not at all. That's the cutest story. That would make a good scene in a movie.
It would. It would. But
Oh.
since you don't remember it, I remember a little bit more if you wish to hear it.
Okay, well, yeah. What was my purpose?
I think you wanted, maybe a piece of bubble gum or a candy bar or something, but off you took off, walking down, and you walked all the way to the store, and and I can't remember what it was. I think it was a candy bar or something. I can't remember
Yeah.
what it was, but on your way home. Now, Dad, of course,
Oh.
didn't want you to know that he was watching you, and so I think he uh, either ducked down an alley or ducked,
Yeah.
ducked down a side street and then followed you back home. But he made sure you were okay.
He's lucky. He's lucky he didn't get arrested for following this little girl.
That could have been, yeah.
Oh gosh, that's so sweet. And I've grown into be the independent, brave young woman I am today.
Exactly, yeah, yeah. You haven't changed a bit. If you want that candy bar and nobody's gonna go with you or take you, you're gonna get all dressed up and
I still get dressed up.
yeah,
Oh, for heaven's sakes. No, I have no memory at all of doing that.
yeah. I
Wow.
think I'm guessing you were probably about 5 or 6,
Uh-huh.
and I was probably 7 or 8. So
Yeah, you be.
but you do you, you remember that little black person you remember it because you still have it.
I still have it. Yeah. I think I might even have um, Aunt Toots used to send us money, coins, when like for a birthday or in our Christmas box. And one year she crocheted me or sent me a little one of those little 6 or 8 inch high plastic posable dolls,
Oh, yeah.
and she had crocheted this green frilly dress for the doll, and the doll had this little bag, little purse that hung on her arm, and it was to match the dress, and it had what are those winged victory? What the old dimes?
Oh,
Uh,
yes, yes, a
I
Mercury.
think
Mercury.
Mercury, yeah,
Yeah.
uh, on a bag of little dimes. And anyway, I think I know I still have those I didn't spend them. I still have them in that purse,
Oh, I'll
and
be darned.
they might be in that little black purse.
I'll be darned. That's wonderful. That's neat that you still have that purse. Is it still in pretty good shape?
Oh, yes, because it didn't get used a whole lot. I remember using it for church, like Easter Sunday, getting all dressed up. I probably
Hmm.
maybe I had gloves too, you know.
Oh,
I
probably.
I
Yeah.
maybe, and yeah, I remember using it, but it's been mostly I outgrew it pretty quick,
Yeah.
and it's pretty small. But I packed it away. It didn't get used, so yeah, it's in good shape.
Hmm. That's neat. That's wonderful you have that. It,
It
yeah, if you could take a picture of it and send it up, I'll put it onto the and we'll put it onto your page there.
it might be a while. It's in my storage unit in my humpback trunk.
Oh, okay.
So
Yeah. Well, when you have a chance, that'd be great.
yeah.
Uh,
Um,
I'm sorry.
yeah, go ahead.
Oh, I was just wondering if you remember we were talking about the kites. Do you recall at all? Now these are probably indelibly etched in my mind, but I have a few other things memories. But let's see, what is this? It's nothing. Do you have any other memories like that, or memories of
Well,
the little
yeah,
store?
I have two.
Yeah.
Do you remember going down to the little store at night in the summer and those giant beetles that would be out there under the light it would be the wall that faced Jefferson Street where you park your car head into the wall
Oh,
of the
yes.
store.
Yeah.
And
Hmm.
those anyway on summer nights, those giant dark brown, some kind of a beetle. I mean, we're talking like 3 inches long or so. Do you remember those?
I remember the Beatles because I found one on the road one time, but I don't remember the Beatles being down there at the store. So they were down there?
Yeah, I guess they were attracted to the lights at night, and I can
I'll be
remember
darned.
hanging out on that wall. It seems like wasn't there like a, was there like a cork board out there or something that they would post ads on and
Yeah.
that on that?
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I remember going there with a sack full of empty, stubby brown beer bottles to get refunds.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Yeah, we used to collect those or try to collect them and yeah.
Mom wouldn't go get the dog bones and Dad wouldn't return his empties. So us kids, I guess, had to do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh,
Well, that was a large source of our income, I think, was
it was. I'm sure that's where I got all my candy money.
probably.
Um, I do have a very sweet memory, and that's of you and I walking down to the store with our hard-earned, saved cash
Uh-huh.
to buy Mom a either birthday or Christmas, maybe Mother's Day gift, which we decided on that um, clear fake cut glass bowl.
Oh, yes, yes. Yeah, the pressed glass.
Uh-huh.
I remember. I don't remember the event, but I remember the bowl. So
Yeah.
what happened?
She kept that bowl forever. She
Oh,
had
she
it.
did. Oh,
Yeah, and I don't I it may have been actually in this after she died, it may have been in the stuff that, was divided up among us.
uh-huh.
I don't know what happened to it, but I know she kept it.
Oh, I'll have to look through my stuff here. I don't recall getting that, but I'll have to
She
take a
made
look.
it she made it a point to use it too, always on the dinner table. She would, that
Yes.
would, but the vegetables or something went in.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember that incident going down. Sometimes I get and my mind gets a little foggy because I get mixed up between us remembering this, just like what you were saying, and the actual event itself. But I vaguely
Yeah,
remember us going down and buying that for mom. Yeah,
I
yeah,
think that's pretty sweet.
that is.
That idea that we did that, and that
That,
we, and it just amazes me that they would let us, these little kids, walk all alone all the way down
yeah,
to that store
yeah.
because it was fairly far.
It was. It was quite a ways
It
away.
was
Yeah.
Well, we were on 24th, and wasn't the little store about a block from 18th Street?
Yeah. Yeah. As I recall, it was.
Okay, so it was probably about 6 blocks.
Yeah.
If we were almost to 25th Street, so yeah, it was quite a walk.
Yeah.
Well, we probably walked to the swimming pool too.
Yes, of
I'm
course.
thinking. Yeah, and that was further, a little further.
That was even further. Yes.
Let's see, how far did we walk? We walked 29th in Willamette.
Yes. That's right.
Yeah. Um, and of course, when we were older, we walked to Wilson and to South Eugene.
Yeah.
I, yeah. So it was just safer then. I wouldn't let my kids out of my sight nowadays.
Yeah. It was a different time.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was a small town or yeah, it was a large town maybe or a small city, I guess. Yeah. And it was just a different age.
yeah.
Maybe they shouldn't have been as comfortable as they were about that, but I don't know.
Well,
We
It
seem to do
didn't
okay.
seem to- Yeah, I don't remember getting abducted or anything.
Yeah, I don't either.
Yeah,
But you're right, it was a long walk.
I don't know. I don't know of any other, just offhand, any other little store memories. I remember being there with mom. I
Mhm.
remember standing in the checkout line with her.
Oh, you do?
I do, but not, I was older, not as was the Big Y still there well, is it there now? I don't
It's
remember.
yeah, it's still there, and it's called I think it's called the Y, I think, but
Oh,
yeah, it's still there.
huh.
Well, it was there as of a year and a half ago. It's too bad, when you and I were down there, you and I met at the Washington, or we had lunch at the Washington
Oh, yeah.
Park there, the big cheese park.
We should have gone in and got some bazooka.
We should have done that. Well, we'll have to put that on the list of important things to do in Eugene.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't. Do you have any other memories?
I do have a few. The earliest memory that I have, I think, unless I can remember, maybe I'll start remembering this stuff again, like you and I
Yeah.
were talking about. The earliest memory I have is Dad and I went to the store. I think Dad and I stopped at the store for something. Either we had to get something, or I was with him and he just wanted to pick up something on the way home.
Uh-huh.
But in the store, uh, uh, Dad, uh, we were in one of the aisles. We were in the cereal aisle, as I recall.
Uh-huh.
Dad made the mistake of going around to another aisle and leaving me there. And
Oh,
I was just fixated, I think, probably on the cereal boxes, And
yeah.
so,
Yeah.
so he probably figured that I would be just okay for 3 seconds,
Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
Probably.
little did he know that when I looked around, Dad was gone and
Uh-oh.
totally. So I'd been abandoned in the cereal section of that store, and so I let out this this yell, this cry, and I started crying. And Dad came rushing around the corner again and wanted to know why I was crying. And I said, because
I
I didn't see
find
it. Yeah.
you.
I
Oh,
couldn't find him. Yeah, so I think he was a little embarrassed, but
yeah.
he took,
We
I'm sorry.
we we I think our family tended to get embarrassed easily over things.
Yeah, yeah. Well, as I recall, he took me by the hand and told me, and as I recall, he said, "Well, I was just around the other corner or other aisle or something, and you were okay, so, and you are, or
Yeah.
probably you are okay, or something like that." But I remember
Yeah.
then leaving with him, so
Uh,
he didn't leave me at the store. He
well,
didn't,
good.
as I had feared was going to do. The the other memory, I have two, one short memory and one a little bit longer, but the shorter one is the watermelon. They used to have watermelons out in the stacked up. I think they were in boxes out in front in the
Uh,
summertime, and
oh,
Mom would occasionally buy one of those for us when we were
uh-huh.
kids. The watermelons, the ones with the seeds in it, of course.
The ones that you can thump.
Yeah, the ones that
The,
you can thump. Yeah. Uh,
and yeah, seedless.
eh,
They didn't come any other way, did they?
No, they had no. Seedless is a relatively new invention, I think. And the other one was with you and me, and we had uh, we had a little. I think Bill had a little black and white TV set that didn't work. I don't know if it ever worked. I mean, it probably worked at one time, but
Uh-huh.
as long as we had it, I don't think it ever worked. And so
Uh-huh.
you and I had figured that we were going to fix this TV set. So
Oh,
we had taken it apart.
you and I did?
Yeah, you and I took the back,
Okay.
just unscrewed the back, and we had taken the tubes out of it was a tube TV, a little tube TV, and we had taken the tubes out and put them in a plastic, in a paper bag,
Uh-huh.
and had walked down to the Little Big Y. And I don't know if you remember this or not, but they had a tube testing machine there. Do you remember that machine?
Yeah. Well, I remember tube testing machines. I'm not sure if I remember that one, but I do remember going in with Bill or Dad somewhere and
Hmm.
testing tubes.
Yeah, yeah, and yeah, there was one at Little Big Y, and you and I, being the creative thinkers of the family, we we took our bags of TV tubes down there, and we were carefully testing out the tubes on this machine. We could probably hardly even see over the top of the panel there, but
I bet they hated seeing us come in that
oh,
store.
I bet they did. Well, I hate to tell you this, Margaret, because you're going to have nightmares. Once again, a clerk came over,
Oh no.
snatched the tube out of the little testing thing that we had put it in, and put it in the bag, and gave us back the sack, and told us we shouldn't play with that machine. And so
We were there on
we
business.
exactly, we were paying customers. Even if we didn't have any money, we would have paid
I
for
had my
something.
little black purse with signs in it.
That's right.
Oh, what if it was the same grumpy clerk? He was probably the manager or something.
Oh, could have been. Yeah, who knows? But
Oh,
I'm sure he rused that day that he
oh.
chased us out of the store.
Yeah. Oh, why was I ever so mean to those little kids?
Yeah, I bet he went to his grave going, I should have been
Oh.
nicer to that little boy and girl.
I don't recall this event either, fortunately. So it didn't keep me from being brave and,
Well,
maybe that's why I am. You helped me face my fears by confrontation.
that's right. Fending off the little the comic book clerk and the TV tube
Yeah,
tester clerk. Yeah.
yes.
But as I recall, I think you and I just once again slunk home, with our untested tubes, and did our best to get the TV. I don't. We never did get the TV to work. So.
I know we're kind of off topic here, if I do this, but just this morning I was remembering the old RCA big TV that we had,
Oh yeah,
the first I remember having.
yeah.
And um, I think the repairman's name was Mr. Dirk Haust,
Yes, something like that. Yes. Yeah,
come to
A
make
German
a
guy.
house call. And I remember crowding in, looking, over his shoulder, wanting to see what he was doing and watch how those tubes would glow.
Oh yeah, yes,
I remember watching him work on our TV,
yes.
and I think I remember getting scolded by mom to stay out of his way.
Probably told, yeah, stay out of his way. And he would make, as you said, he would make house calls. But
Uh-huh.
for some weird reason, he always had to take the set back with him, which we hated. It didn't matter, you know. It didn't matter what was wrong with that TV set. He always had to take it back to the shop to work on it.
Oh dear. Well, it probably paid higher than it would if he just, was able to fix it in our house.
Probably, yeah. Yeah, so he and Dad would pack that giant RCA black and white TV set off to his car, and off he would go. Oh, on occasion he would have a loaner he could give us. So he would give
Oh,
us a loaner.
oh, wow.
Yes.
That's cool.
Yeah. I spec.
What
I'm sorry.
you suspect what?
Oh, I. Pat and Bill may remember more about
Yeah.
about him.
Was do you recall to your memory, was he a bit of a short, stocky man with a German accent?
I don't remember being stocky, but I do remember being somewhat a small man and a heavy German accent. Yes.
And he wore like brown khaki uniform kind of pants and shirt on the job. I remember I kind of have a memory of that.
uh, of him dressing like that.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
He had his work clothes. Yeah.
yeah, I vaguely remember him wearing, yeah, some sort of greenish khaki colored things. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
like pants and shirt,
Uh-huh.
which was very common in those in the 50s to put that stuff
Yeah.
on for men to wear
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
It's like for me, my memory of Bill is always in khaki slacks and a short sleeve white t-shirt. Always. That's all he ever wore.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, that's how I remember him too. Always, ever. I mean, I don't think he ever was, or I don't think he wore anything else.
I think he
Huh.
did.
I don't remember his shoes. Do you remember his shoes? Bill's shoes?
I just want to say dark loafers, not ti tying, slip-on kind of shoes, but maybe he
Yeah,
was.
yeah, yeah. I remember them being. I think they were black. I think he wore white socks and black shoes. I think that's what he
Oh
wore.
my gosh! Guess what else I have? A, a small, very small box of his old Argyle socks.
You have Bill's socks?
Yeah.
My
Well,
gosh.
I was always going to make one of those braided rugs, little rug out of them, and I never did. It would make the coolest rug.
A little mouse rug or something.
Yeah. He used to wear Argyle socks, cotton Argyle socks.
Yeah. I'll be darned. I don't. I didn't. I always thought he wore white socks. He'll
I
have to fill us in on that.
I should bring that box and my purse to the next family reunion.
Absolutely, you should. Yes,
You guys
absolutely.
will be amazed at what I have saved.
Yeah. Well, that's wonderful. You have. I think that's great that you have. Well, Margaret, if you're okay, I'm about ready to pass out from hunger, but that's
Oh,
just
I'm fine. No, because I ate while you were doing dog stuff, so
you, you were right. Well,
but we can stop. That would be fine.
okay, yeah, and what we could do then with this, since we're just on the Little Big Y, is that uh, one, I suspect you and I will remember some extra things that we can add, but also Bill and Pat, I know, will have things to add to the store, so we can
Okay.
we can have a part two to the store adventure, Little Big Y
Yeah.
store adventures.
Yeah.
Well, okay,
We'll
then
have the younger version and the older version.
exactly, yes. I will then end this and
Oh,
send you a copy here. So I'll
okay.
stop it right now.